Adults need to take action now.
We are powerful.
We are awesome. And we can change the world.
Together.
Small but mighty, kids change the world!
Hello everyone, I'm James Milan and this is Talk of the Town. As you can tell, Arlington is a green town, proudly so. And one of the spots that you can really see that green activism at work is the Thompson Elementary School, where parents and teachers and especially students are involved in all kinds of initiatives to improve things at their school, in the town, in our community, and out from there. We've decided to pay a visit to the Thompson School and talk to some of those teachers and parents, and especially the kids, about the work that they're doing, the awards that they're winning, and the future that they see for themselves and for us. So, without further ado, next stop, the Thompson School. Elizabeth Rocco is, in addition to being a physician, the primary parent supervisor of the green teams at Thompson School for the last number of years. With 2 children in the school herself, she has taken a real great interest in the green activities going on there. We wanted to talk to her and find out how things are going from her perspective.
As a parent with young children, you spend a lot of time with your kids. And so if I was going to do anything about climate change, I was going to have to do it within my community, so in the Thompson community. And I was attending these Mothers Out Front house parties with lots of moms and other parents. And we decided that we would start organizing at Thompson School. And initially, we organized around the Paris climate talks, and we made signs for our messages for President Obama about what we wanted in the environment. Mm-hmm. And that was really the first meeting of what is now the Green Team.
Mm-hmm. And how is it working with, young kids, elementary school kids, in terms of, just how is it that you either teach them or get them to teach each other? How does that work?
How did it start?
Yeah.
So let me go back just one more step. So around that time that we did the Earth to Paris event, we heard about the green teams, actually from your wife. They were starting green teams all around the Arlington Public Schools. Mm-hmm. And Krista Kelleher and I decided we would form a green team. And the first event was for EcoFest. There was these trash formations for EcoFest. Mm-hmm. And so the Green Team Club met after school for the first several weeks. And we made sculptures out of styrofoam and plastic. And at that time, I worked with Miss Dichter, who is a passionate second grade teacher, and she was thrilled to have parents come in the classroom and talk to the students. And I asked them about what is the waste that they see in the cafeteria and what were their concerns, and they, of course, mentioned the styrofoam trays. And they started collecting them and washing them, and then they had this fabulous idea to make sculptures out of these trays. So they made a giant turtle and giant clam. And we also had this Science Explo, which is when all the parents in Thompson come in on the weekend and they do all sorts of science-related activities. So we did this trash formation making during the Science Explo.
Mm-hmm. So that's obviously the first activity you took on. Mm-hmm. I am curious, though, again, what is it like to work with basically, 6 or 7 to, 10, 11-year-olds?
It's amazing,
yeah.
Right? It's amazing. They're creative, they're energetic, they care about the earth, the environment, animals. Mm-hmm. They learn so rapidly. They develop and grow. They're used to working together in the school, and so you present them with a basic problem like plastic pollution is impacting animals, and they immediately want to do something, and they have about 20 ideas about how to do it. And of course, they love to sing and make art and drama, and so they have a million ideas about how to get that message across.
And so for you as the, often the adult or one of the adults in the room as these things are hatching, is your role primarily just to kind of channel all of that creativity and energy in a constructive direction, or are you actually doing a little bit more teaching yourself? How does that kind of dynamic work?
Yeah, so I'm really trying to use the knowledge that they have. So I'm creating a space where they can brainstorm. And I'm trying to, like if they want to have a skit and have costumes, I try to give them the supplies that they need to make the costumes, or brainstorm about, well, how can we use the trash in our cafeteria in order to make those costumes? So really just supporting their creative process.
And we've talked to a number of students here at Thompson, and there's this funny kind of mixture of references to the whole school being one big green team, and that's something that we have heard kind of out in the community, and also references to the green team, which I believe is the group that you spend the most time with. Yeah. So can you clarify like what the distinction is there?
What is the Green Team? Yeah. So the Green Team initially started as an after-school club, and there were a number of families involved in the Green Team. And when the kids were in first, second, and third grade, there were a lot of parents and kids available during those hours. But as time went on, many of the older kids had activities, and also I realized I wasn't reaching all the kids. So I really felt like it was more important to get into the classroom and partner with teachers and to help develop their curriculum to make it both more enriching, but also to get their input and to involve all the kids in the school. So I don't want to, I want everyone to feel like they have ownership over our Green Team efforts. So when we, win this award at the State House, it's because, everyone, our staff, our students, not just the people in the after-school club, but really everyone is a part of that effort.
So you see that as basically that award is a Thompson School award.
Oh,
basically.
Definitely, definitely.
And what is maybe one or two, you pick one or two examples of either, or not either, of both. What is most rewarding for you about the time and effort you've put in and what you've seen over these last number of years, and also what's most challenging about trying to do what it is that you're doing?
Well, there's so many rewarding things. One thing that really makes me very pleased is when I see students independently coming up with a project. Like Matilda, she's writing corporations. The girls from Miss Jetty's class who wrote the letter to the food services director. Just knowing that I was not responsible for that brainstorming session, but they brainstormed on their own and used, the available resources of the community to make action and, and to explore their own interests, that is very rewarding. The other thing that really just kind of almost blew my mind is when I read the graduating fifth graders from last year's statements about how they were going to change the world. And it was incredible, all their ideas for how they were going to change the world. That gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, so heartening in the midst of, a lot of stuff out there, as we're all familiar with in the world, that is disheartening. So how about, and I know it's a little bit harder, but how about like what has been challenging for you?
It's been challenging for me finding balance. I'm a physician, so I'm doing all of this volunteer, and We've had a Earth Week, we're having a Zero Waste Week, we're working on the garden, we got this award, we went to the State House, so it's, managing the time. Also working with parents who, sometimes are available and sometimes they aren't. And then working with teachers who are overwhelmed with their responsibilities. And so how to kind of get into the classroom, really involve as many students as possible, partner with teachers, right? Collaborate with all the community partners, and do that knowing that there are real-time pressures for everyone.
It's always important that adults be present and guiding forces, hopefully invisibly just about, when you're talking about dealing with kids, but very important for things to move forward, for that adult presence.
So my real hope is that Thompson School and the Arlington Public School District is modeling the integration of sustainability curriculum from kindergarten to 12th grade. And that this is going to be really the future. And I know they're already discussing incorporating project-based learning in 6th grade and beyond, but sustainability lessons are just so important for this generation.
Cordelia and Una are two Thompson 5th graders who have been involved with green teams and their activities for several years now. And they were also part of the group that recently attended a State House ceremony in which they won an award for their environmental activism in and around Thompson. We talked to the girls to find out how that experience was for them and how they're feeling about the legacy that they're leaving behind as they move on into 6th grade.
So we accepted the Secretary's Award for excellence in energy because we had made podcasts in the 5th grade with Kevin, and we had been working on podcasts specifically about water pollution and the amount of plastic that goes into the ocean and efforts on cleaning out our water, because that's what we had been learning on in school.
And we entered the podcast in a competition, and we won an award.
That's so great. And how was it to be at the State House? Was that really fun?
Yes, it was very nice. We met with some of our leaders and we're talking about different things that we need to do to help our environment.
Yeah, we saw that you guys visited Cindy Friedman, who is the our state senator.
I loved meeting with Cindy Friedman because it was really inspiring to see her whole office and everything that she's been working on, and to talk with her about all of the things that we need to work on and that we have been doing specifically with her, just with us. That was really special that she gave some of her time just to meet with us.
And you guys are both 5th graders, so
Yeah.
you're the oldest kids in the school, which is cool. Have you been involved with green teams and sustainability your whole time, or?
We did programs so each grade would do separate things. Like the 5th grade dug out the beds, and then some of the younger grades planted the plants, and some other grades picked up trash and did other things to help the environment. So it was a whole school process.
In 5th grade, we put compost in the soil and made the soil and dirt really good for the plants. In 4th grade, we sent a letter to the head of the food services trying to get rid of plastic straws, and we no longer use plastic straws. But we do need to continue to improve because we do still have plastic cups and other plastic utensils and styrofoam things that we need to get rid of.
And we were outside a little earlier and looking at the different gardens. So tell us about, first of all, tell us a little bit more about the plant garden that we saw.
So we have one garden, the actual garden with real raised beds, is more vegetables and herbs that we just looked at, but the small bed over there and the big one over there are mainly flowers and different things that help pollinators. It's like milkweed for butterflies and different
flowers that pollinators like and are helpful to the environment.
And what's important about that? What's important about
It's important because so the pollinators can have stuff to eat, and so they can survive. And if they can't survive, and if they don't have enough flowers, then we won't have any food really.
Really? Because do you understand? So tell us a little bit about like how the pollinators work in the whole system.
So they go and get pollen from the plants, and that helps spread the pollen among other plants, and like helps plants keep going, and it also helps the pollinators live.
Great.
Spreading the pollen just helps the plants continue to have a life. Without pollinators, plants would die out and become extinct really quickly.
Mm-hmm. And are pollinators kind of in trouble around here? Do they need the help, or?
Yes, especially some bees. Habitats are being kind of destroyed, and they're definitely dying out. So we need to do things about that. We also have like hummingbirds, and butterflies are also pollinators.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you guys are soon going to be graduating from Thompson and moving on to, and I'm sure you'll keep very busy doing work to help the environment and sustainability. What do you hope is going to happen here at Thompson even after you guys leave? Do you have ideas about things that will happen in the next little while?
So I think I hope that like kids will keep like helping with the plants and helping pollinators to survive.
I kind of hope that they will just get rid of their plastic utensils and styrofoam things and replace them with either compostable or just get rid of them altogether, because we have a lot of plastics left, and styrofoam definitely we need to get rid of because they're both terrible for the environment and take really long time to break down.
Yeah, what would you say to young kids?
I would tell them to, even if you don't get what you were fighting for, to continue trying, because if you just give up, the world is going to just become pollution, and there won't be a future for kids that are younger than you. So even if you fail on something that you're working on, keep doing it and keep trying.
Well, I mean, I think we should have tried to get rid of styrofoam trays quicker, because we had them for quite a long time.
Our big thing that we did in 4th grade was the straws, and I think we were very successful with that. Me and my other friend Abby, who is in a different class, wrote a small essay on it, and we all wrote a letter to the food services saying that we didn't want plastic straws delivered to our school anymore, and that they should probably stop delivering to other schools as well because they're really terrible for the environment.
It's not just the parents and the kids at Thompson who are heavily involved in these green initiatives, but the teachers are as well. Lynn Dichter is a 2nd grade teacher who has been instrumental in developing a number of different programs at the Thompson, and also has particular lessons that she has both shared with and learned from her students. We were glad to talk to her about that.
If we as the adults take the energy to keep reminding and keep encouraging and all that, hopefully that the good habits really start developing, and the kids start to do it without realizing, all the right things. I would imagine that we're kind of thinking along those lines, those little tiny things that can help.
Continued incremental progress.
Exactly. Even just at that level, bringing awareness, the kids to realize. And in my classroom, I'm constantly reminding them if I see a piece of paper in the trash, I'm like, wait just a minute, this doesn't go in the trash. Where does this go? We can reuse it even, or we can recycle it. And even using spoons for yogurt upstairs at snack, I tell them, I can wash these. We can put them in the sink and I'll wash them. We can reuse some of these. And just the awareness, like you said. And the fact that I think these current 4th and 5th graders, they've been invited since 2nd grade or maybe even 1st grade to be part of the school green team. So they've starting to have years and years of them being encouraged to be to learn a lot about it, and then to be vocal with their peers and to be involved in helping change their school, which is pretty exciting. I do think it really does depend on the teachers to be vigilant about it, and I have to say that some of the adults in this building need just as much education as I have teachers who put out plain white paper and let the kids scribble for 5 minutes and then it goes in the trash. It horrifies me. I don't give my kids plain white paper to draw for free draw. I give them something that's got something on the back, reuse it and just, so my goal would be even next year to work with teachers a little bit to help them with some of the things that are just, easy to do without feeling like we're wasting so much. I think, they're still young enough and they certainly know that it's their world, and they know how to at least talk the talk at this point, which might just be even the first step for a lot of them to realize, I can't leave trash outside, that's horrible, or I can't waste this paper, I can't, fill a landfill kind of thing. So, and a lot of my kids, I can tell which kids, that's talked about a lot at home too, which is nice, and which families try to recycle or compost even and all that, because some of them, they do come with different levels of awareness and even willingness to do it. So, there's hope for the next generations. I think my goal would be that the children are starting to internalize the good habits, really, and that they can spread the word with their peers. I know not every teacher, not every parent is focusing on these kinds of things as much as some others, so that if the students can help each other to build the awareness and build the good habits, I think that would be my goal. So that it's their world they're going to take from us.
Environmental awareness at the Thompson School and activism around that awareness is really a school-wide phenomenon. From second graders to fifth graders, we gathered a number of students to tell us about their own views and opinions on what the current environmental situation looks like at the school and beyond, and also to share their vision for the future.
That straws they're very small, and so people use them without realizing, and then when they end up in the ocean, since they're so small, they easily get into animals' throats and stuff, and they don't decompose easily at all, and it takes hundreds and hundreds of years for them to decompose.
And so much sea life is just getting destroyed because of the straws and people not being aware. So we decided to make people aware.
We made these skits where we acted out, and there were some people that were narrators, some people acting out as different animals, and it was to show what kind of effect that straws and just other plastic waste can have on our environment.
And I think it went very well, because afterwards, Thompson's students cut down straw use by I think half, right?
And then later in the year, at the start of this year, we came into school and there was no straws at all.
Yeah, we did it. We thought that we made some people think about their straw usage, but we didn't know that we actually made that much of a difference. And it was very...
And we wrote to the director of the food services, and they said they would start making a difference, but we didn't really know when that would be.
Yeah.
So then we came back and we were very happy when there was no straws.
Because when this whole thing was happening last year in 4th grade, it was kind of we did it was middle-ish of the year, still kind of chilly. So there was probably about a good 3 or 4 months-ish left of school, so nothing really happened. And then finally we come back this year. We not only don't have any straws, but we also have a compost bin instead of just a trash.
It's gonna be our world that we're living in, so we gotta make it still alive.
Yeah.
We gotta take care of our world. It's the only one we have.
Well, except Mars. We might use Mars.
That's just if you try to do something, you're kind of on the green team in a way.
Yeah. If you try, then you're already helping.
Right.
You're already halfway there.
So everybody's not just honorary members, but real members.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, when we were in second grade, we weren't really knowing what they were doing necessarily when we signed up. We were like, oh, cool, our friends are doing this. Oh, I guess we're making trash sculptures. That's cool.
It wasn't that we weren't we do had an idea, but now we know much more what we're doing and we know why we're doing it.
So tell us that. What are you doing and why are you doing it?
So, we have made lots of like posters and stuff about the environment. We have Zero Waste Day and Zero Waste Assemblies, and this year Zero Waste Day is, or like for a few years it's been that Zero Waste Day is the entire school and everybody tries to bring in as like lunches and snacks with as little waste as possible, or like recycling.
It's like you were throwing something
Leah was
away
teaching you how to throw
wrong.
things properly away and composting,
Yeah.
recycling.
And we also made a video of that, which was really interesting because we were putting stuff away and like teaching them how to do it right, and yeah.
And so I wrote a letter to the milk companies I buy milk from, and one of them wrote me back, and they said that they're gonna change the straw on the back to a twist top, which is recyclable and doesn't affect the environment. So that's going to be at Costco in August.
What is something that still needs to get changed at Thompson that you hope is going to change either while you're here or after you leave?
No plastic and no all the hot dogs, hamburgers, sandwiches, they all get wrapped in like tin foil, which we don't need.
I also think that even though we have the compost bins and the recycling bins, some people just haven't changed that, and even though it's available, they still put it in the trash.
They don't care.
They don't really care, but I feel like we need to give a bit more of a push so they actually do that.
I made a video with the Green Team, and
Like when you were real little?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the Green Team members were 5th graders
Mm-hmm.
or 4th graders, and it was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think it was last year, I went to the town hall with 2 other 5th graders to get an award. We eliminated straws, telling people about how straws were bad and we should not have straws anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was a character, Plastica, and she used a lot of straws.
So you were the bad guy? That's cool. And is that a good way of getting the message? Like, is that a good way of getting other people to see that they should make changes? It worked. That's
And
good.
now we don't have any plastic straws.
Thing that you would tell your younger brothers or sisters, or maybe the 1st or 2nd graders here, about what it is that they need to do?
I would tell them that they shouldn't be afraid to step up and speak for themselves and for the rest of their community, because it's really important for their generation.
What's the message that you want to get out there?
So we could try to give people around the world a message that to save the earth, and since we don't have that much resources and we're wasting things. And
So we also make the videos to encourage other people to try to help us. Yeah, and it's important our world leaders acknowledge that, because they have the power to do this, so they can, if they know to do the right thing, they can do it.
People want to listen to you. Sometimes adults don't want to listen to each other, but if you're all saying something is important, then I think people are actually more likely to listen to that, like leaders, as you were saying.
If adults don't take action, then we need to start telling them to take action, because this is important for our generation, since it's going to be generation after generation, and if we don't preserve this earth, then there won't be anything left for future generations. So, some people don't take any interest in Green Team, and they try to make them at least try a little bit to help us to make the world a better place.
We are making a skit, and it's basically just to educate people about trash and how it's bad for the environment.
Do you guys think that adults need to do to help with the environment?
They make more. They make less trap. They stop. Like plastic. They stop like trashing things in places. But yeah, that's most of it. Even though we've already made a big change, we can still there's still some plastic cups and like plastic silverware. Yeah.
How about you, Anna? Do you have anything you'd like to tell some nearby adults to do that we could do better?
Well, don't make that much trash, and
stop littering all over
don't
the place.
litter. Don't throw trash in the ocean. Don't throw. Don't throw trash in the ocean.
Don't throw trash in the ocean.
Okay. So why don't we say all four of you guys together say, don't throw trash into the ocean.
We have a song.
Oh, you have a song. Can you sing it?
Well, it's kind of long.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
you
very
can
long,
just
but I kind
sing.
of
Can
forgot
you sing a part of it?
Sure.
Is there a part that you all know?
Sing a verse. Remember the first verse. Don't dump trash on the ground.
Okay.
Don't make trash anywhere. Don't make trash anywhere. It hurts our bodies and our minds and duration of humankind. So don't make trash anywhere.
Very good.